And we're recording. All right, welcome everybody that is not joining in live. For all those looking later on the rerun, remember that we're streaming live every day at 12:30 UTC. If you want to be part of the live stream, if you want to be able to ask your questions and stuff, dial in, look at what time zone you're living in, and make it out for yourself so you don't miss it. Maybe you also want to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you know exactly when to tune in. All right, yes, no mass, we hit that button. We did it. We did it. All right, so let's have a look at the charts. Let's see what has been happening here. So where did we leave off yesterday? Yesterday must have been around this area. Yep, that's the one. Now let's make it a little more clean, something like this. This was the area where we did leave off yesterday. So yeah, what have we spoken about? There was a few structures, a few formations that we did have in mind. The green channel, the rising channel, was one of the possibilities. For now, I would still not rule it out, but as well, we did see this horizontal wedge that I marked in red. And as you know, wedges can often break, they can just as often break to the upside as they do break to the downside. Right now we have not touched any of the ranges within the boxes. The lower range was just a support area, obviously, on the edge of the blue box. Right now we recovered a little bit. We found some resistance at the upper edge of the wedge. And now the question is, where is it gonna go from here? First of all, I would like to take a little bit of, draw a little bit of attention to the rebound that we are seeing right here. It is true that we are seeing a double bottom, which usually is a strong reaction. But, what am I doing again? Let's remove this. But on the other hand, seeing as how this whole construction just builds off continuation, it's not sure that this is going to be the reaction, the strong reaction, the recovery that we are actually looking for. On the upside, we do see here the stochastics in the bottom trying to maybe retest this yellow trend line down here. Stochastics are already curling up a little bit, but being this slow, this is the bearish control zone. We often see the stochastics curl up and then snake around a little bit. And as long as we are in this lower range of the stochastic area, this still means that we are downtrending. Okay, so stochastics is not like the RSI, it's a momentum indicator, and as long as we are below the 50%, like let's say below the 40%, we are actually ranging down. So don't be fooled. It's not because we are curling up right now that this means that we're going to see a strong recovery. We do still have a little bit of ranging within this wedge shape, the green and red shape, but this is just a line in the sand. So this is not going to be a solid support line. I don't consider this to be a solid support line because actually the longer range of this wedge, the red one, has actually a lot more documentation in the past. So breaking the green line is not a dead sentence, but breaking the red one here this would imply a lot more trending and probably a lot more downside in the foreseeable future. But for now, we're still not there yet. What do we have on the rebound? On the rebound here, we do see that we are closing in on this red line. This is the point of control. This is where the most trading has happened. So this could be a strong resistance line, implying that if we do get rejected here, we could see more downward momentum leading us to the lower edge of this wedge shape. All right, so all this being said, this is just a little bit of the overall picture, but we do have the macro that we are actually still looking at, and this is the one that actually concerns me the most. So let's move over to the 10-hour chart, and what do we see on the 10-hour chart? We still have this, let's do it like this. We still have this series of lower highs on the RSI being printed continuously, while here we did have our higher highs, and right now we are turning back into a series of lower highs. So usually I would be expecting that this is more or less where the trend could start reversing, and that we are gonna have to look for a bearish or a bullish divergence forming with these two areas. And this is basically what a lot of YouTubers have been talking about since quite some time. But I think right here, right now, there could be a make or break situation that is forming. Let's have some coffee because we do need our energy to be up. Now, let me have a look at the chats. I'm going to do this from time to time just to make sure that I don't miss any interesting chats in the chat box. Cool, so where do we start? Where do we begin? First things first, I would like to have a look and see where we could have some strong reactions on the RSI level. We are going to consider this to be a local low, and then this one here as well. This could also be our lower local low. Let's start with the first one here, sitting at 39.65. So let's do the magic calculations. And this is reading 19,000 sharp. So let's 19,000 sharp. Let's not make a mess. How are we gonna mark this one off? Let's just start by moving everything, and we'll clean it up later. So 19,000 sharp. So basically, as you can see, in order to create a bullish divergence with this area here, eventually we should expect price to test this area right here in the red corner, in the red wedge shape. This is why the green line, I'm still not sure if I would like to use this a lot as a reference. We can right now, because as long as it's holding, chances are that we are still going to respect the green channel. But on the low end, breaking down and retesting the lower end of this wedge would actually be a nice strong bullish signal. So this thing, let's keep it here. This is something that we're going to keep in the back of our mind. Now let's look at the lower edge and see what we can read from here. So this is, let's say 31 and a half, just to make it easy. And this is reading 18,750 more or less. So we can maybe drag this down all the way over here. Okay, now, what does this mean? Oh, wait up. I messed up. Another blue box. 750, like this, more or less. Okay. So this is short term. This is actually really short term. I don't like having those blue boxes so close to each other. So what we're going to do, we're going to remove this one. I'm just going to keep the red line as a support area, like here. All right. So this red line here, the red, what's it called? The red horizontal ray, I would keep this one in the back of our minds as a point of no return for this small structure here. So what do I mean by this? Finding support here in the blue box, beautiful, very nice. Finding support in the blue box outside of the wedge, probably a little bit of resistance and some trending down. Possible. Breaking the red line, this is where we are going to have to look at the lower area and see where price could find its strong support, because if we break the red line, it's immediately going to be a long way lower than this. So very nice area to take your stop losses, to set your stop losses. Even if you take a little bit of a loss, I do believe there is going to be a nicer opportunity where you can make your profit back in no time. Well, let's not say in no time, but where you should be able to get a better position, which eventually will be profitable. All right, so now let's have a look at the lower end and let's see how we can map this one out. 1515, is that right? No, yeah, 1515. Yeah, everybody, you guys should be knowing this one by heart. We've been doing the RSI of this area for so often now. Now let's see. 1515 should be sitting at about 17,300, 17,400. So let's mark this off. 17,400 something. Okay, basically this is still one big mess, but we're gonna look at the higher time frames and we will see how we can clear this up a little bit more. I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to drag this down an entire piece like this. But yeah, let's do it one step at a time. So the 3-hour chart. Let's go over it. Yeah. I'm just going to remove this because that's not what we're looking at. Let's do it. So for the 3-hour chart, the low is sitting at 21 on the RSI. So let's do this. And yeah, still 17.4. Very, very interesting. That is very interesting. All right. Good. Maybe we can drag this down low to this area. Let's go over to the 4-hour chart. Let's do the same thing. 23.23. Same thing. This is actually beautiful. Once we start seeing how the different time frames are starting to agree, this is actually where you know that that there's a lot of validity to this area, to this level. So very key level for now. All right, let's do the 5-hour and the 10-hour chart. And then we're gonna start cleaning up this entire mess. So 26 on the RSI, 26. Okay, here we start getting a little bit higher. So 17,700, and this is the edge of the blue box. So beautiful. Hey, shit, I eyeballed that stuff first, so. All right, so almost like those numbers were looking at the same thing I was looking at, right? All right, 10-hour chart. We're almost there. Let's do this one, and then we're gonna go over how we could try to manage a position from those reads. 28.8. And what do we got? 17,240. So this one is sitting lower. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, because this area here, I don't know if it's clear, if you can see this properly. Wait up, come back, yeah. So, looking at the volume node here, what we see is actually that the purple line is not sitting on a lot of volume. So, historically speaking, and looking at the probabilities, I don't think there's going to be a lot of support here. So the 10-hour chart gave us 17,245, and I do believe that this area is actually going to offer us a lot more support. So this is why I'm just going to adjust this, because I do believe this is actually, if we break this low, this is going to be the more key area to be looking for a bounce. All right, now, let's go over the other time frames and let's try to see what the uptrend could be and where the uptrend could be stopped. Because the same thing goes, it's not because I am expecting a correction to the downside that this is going to happen. I don't have a crystal ball. The only thing that we can do is actually have a look at all the possibilities and don't rule out any one over the other just because you have a gut feeling. So we're not going to do this. We are right now going to check at the upper areas. And let's try to map this out before we dive into the conclusion. So the higher areas, actually, I don't think I want to look at the lower time frames, just because the lower time frames are such a mess on the upside. I think we would be better off looking at a chart like the 10-hour chart, just because this is where we clearly can see our local high being formed. All the rest is just like more or less messing in the same areas, and I think it's going to be pointless for this chart to try and map those out. So let's just have a look at this one. We got 69.26. Let's do this. 69.26. And we have 20,200. All right, here we go. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So what does this mean? On the top side, if we manage to see an outbreak or a breakout, for instance, just trending in the horizontal, in the green channel and reaching up, the yellow line was the all-time high, which is going to be a very key area. Just as before, getting a rejection in the lower part of the blue box is probably going to set a series of contractions to the downside. How low this will go, we are going to have to measure this out, but seeing a rejection from the lower part of this box and actually closing outside again, this is what I mean with a rejection. So this could be an area to be looking for if we start trending up. If you are in a long position, I do believe this area reaching this high would at least be a very nice area to take profit off of. Now, on the other hand, as long as we stay within the wedge shape, we will still be ranging, and this is where this lower box could start becoming relevant. Either closing within this box or maybe even just touching it a little bit could already help for some upward momentum, but only closing within this box and starting to trend up is going to give enough momentum to break through those resistance areas. Now, on the other hand, if we start closing lower, there are going to be some bounces and the blue box will start forming some sort of resistance, and possibly if we break below the red line, this is where I would start looking for entry points here in the lower area of this blue channel. Now it all depends how quickly this is going, because what am I doing? Just a second. Now it all depends how quickly this is going to play out, because right here we're looking at a 1 hour chart. If all this plays out during the coming 2-3 days, we do have like at least till the 10th of December, we still have a nice opportunity to find some support and create a bullish divergence in the upper area of this blue box, and probably this would lead to some ranging up and some nice opportunities to buy in. Now, why do I believe this? As we know, this is all a sport of looking at shapes, looking at probabilities, looking at possibilities, and this shape comes actually very familiar to me. We've seen the same buildup in the past. And I'm looking at, where did we see it? Yeah, actually here. Is this the one? No, no. Where did I see it? Yeah, this is the one. But wait up. Yeah, right here. Right here. This one. So we do get the same structure. We did get our rally up, a little break, and another swipe up. We did get the retest, the rejection of this entire structure. Like actually, basically same thing as what we've seen here. So if you can tell, the same rally up, a little break, more, the rejection, and a push up. And eventually, the structure of the higher lows and lower lows starts to form on the RSI as well. We do see our turnaround here on the RSI. Same structure as we are printing right now. So right here, the turnaround on the RSI. So if history repeats, it would be very probable that we would see a similar formation building up again, building up the case for a new run, a new test for newer highs. Is this going to take the same amount of time? Is this actually really going to happen? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. And if you know, if you can predict the future, then please by all means type away and let me know. But hey, thank you, 29 million BTT. Thank you and welcome to the stream. Thank you very much. All right, where was I? But sometimes it's good to be comparing structures and formations that you have seen in the past in order to make a little bit of a prognostic, a estimation of what you could be expecting. What is for sure is that once the rejection started, we will see our signature move, the retest on the RSI, confirming that a bottom is in. And this is a structure, this is a signal that I always look for when we are starting a severe correction. This is why I'm always also not afraid to set a stop loss at a certain level. If I really know that it's going to break through and break down, then, you know, hands off. We don't care anymore, and we just let it ride out until we see this nice structure in the RSI that confirms that we actually have reached the bottom, like this one here, and that we are ready to rally back up. Now, another thing that I found was very interesting to draw your attention to was actually what the dollar has been doing. Now, on the closing on the weekend, I said that there was a good chance that the bottom was in just locally, and this was this structure here, and that from there we could see a swipe up followed by a rejection, because eventually, especially after such a swipe up, we are going to make a bearish divergence. This is so short that it's not even hard to predict. Now, on the 3-hour chart, we do see that we even have a stronger bearish divergence coming from these two areas. So what does this mean? Like you can already see right now, the dollar is being rejected. And now the question is, on the rejection, are we going to create a lower low on the price while maintaining a higher low on the RSI? And this is where the bullish divergence will come into play, and this is where the dollar could actually find the momentum to start breaking through these resistance areas. And then we play again the same game like we've been playing in the past week. That is the question: is the dollar still going to act inverse correlated to the Bitcoin price, or are we literally going to start seeing a decoupling like some crypto fanatics have been asking for since God knows when? Right now, E-mini futures has also started to feel the effects of the bearish divergences that have been building up since early November. It's been quite overdue. So possibly, the correction might be a little more severe than what some people could be expecting. Then on the other hand, because we know that E-mini futures and the dollar are strictly inverse correlated, because there's no other money to be trading the US stock against, possibly the US dollar is going to find its recovery slowly but surely. So for us, what's mattering for us the most is, like I said, the question is, Bitcoin still going to stay correlated to the dollar, or are we going to start seeing a decoupling? So very interesting to keep an eye on this matter. A lot is going to happen this week, especially once we see a decoupling happening. This is where I think Bitcoin prices are just going to explode through the roof. But right now, for now, like I always say, one step at a time, take it slow, and keep your eyes on the levels that we have been setting out for you right now. Remember, the blue box, as long as we are within this shape, this wedge shape, very strong reaction and a lot more chances to see a breakout to the upside. Breaking this whole wedge formation, possibly more resistance, maybe some trending, breaking the red line. This is where we are going to go much lower than that. Obviously, probably below the 17,800s, maybe even 17,500, 17,200, very possible. But all this is future talk. Like I said, go one step at a time. And I hope these levels will help you out finding nice entry positions and keep your trades safe. So I'm gonna leave it today on this note. I hope you guys found this very helpful. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Remember, same time, same channel, 12:30 UTC. I will be here. I hope to see you guys here as well. The idea is to create a little bit more of a discussion, like ask your questions if things are unclear. If you don't know how to do one thing or the other, just ask away. I'm not here to spoon feed the spoon boys. What I'd rather do is just show you guys how to do your technical analysis, go over the same things, be very diligent, and yeah, go one step at a time. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Same time, same channel. Be there and be square.